Welcome everybody to Red G Foxx. Alright, so we are done with season 1. Now, what that means is throughout, we got season 2, we know, 6 seasons, but I will still always come back to fun facts on an episode, maybe on characters. It doesn't mean I will never talk about season 1. We will have the best of sometimes where we just talk about the top 5 funniest moments. Right now we have a poll where it's the best episode voted, season 1, and right now it appears to be Coffins for Sale, which is not a shock. So we might do that eventually as well, where we say, hey, let's go over the top 5 episodes. So it does not mean this channel is now done forever with season 1. We have so much Sanford and Son that we can do this for years. You know, as long as I'm here and I'm alive, I plan on doing this until we bleed everything that was the great Red Fox. And today we're talking about fun facts on season 1. Yes, there are some on here that, hey, if you are a big fan of our channel and you've already watched every episode leading up to this, there's going to be things here you go, yeah, I remember you talked about that. There are things on here I did not talk about. There are parts where I was kind of like, you know what, is that relevant or whatever? This is something cool. Now, there are also a few I forgot. If you really want to get to those, it's the last probably 3 minutes of the episode, 2 minutes where I get to those. If not, and you enjoy just hanging out and watching, stay here. So, like I said, there's a couple episodes that won't be in here. Let's get right to it. Fun facts, interesting things about season 1. Starting with cross swords, we know that's the first episode ever. The only one that was taken name for name identical to Steptoe and Son. It is the only time we see a piano in the house, which is funny because we know they almost get a piano on the last episode of season 1. We just went over that, the Piano Movers, episode 14. They almost got one, they couldn't get it out of there. So it makes me wonder, how did Lamont get this piano out of the house, right? He should be an expert. He should have been like, hey, Dad, hey, Pop, right? He hardly calls him Dad once in a while. But hey, Pop, we know how to get the piano out. Remember how we got it out in our house? And then Fred would be like, no, son, I don't, because I don't remember ever seeing a piano again. It's the only time we see a piano and Fred is actually playing it and singing it. So that's a great moment just to start out the series. The cigarettes on the table that Fred has in there, they are called True Menthol, and they were supposed to be a low, I don't know if it was low tar, low, anything with cigarettes, but they were a popular brand at that time. I never heard of them. You know, my dad smoked Marlboro. I don't smoke, but those are the ones I remember. But that is it if you see the cigarettes on there. Obviously, being the first episode ever, they didn't waste time. We know there's a lot of trademarks to characters. They did not waste time with the old fake heart attack. We've talked about before the show history. That was one of the things that sealed the deal for the producers when they saw Fred do the old, I'm coming, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you. He does this in this episode. So you knew they loved it and they had to get it in the show. So this is it. Episode 1, their debut in that fake heart attack. So that is it with Cross Swords. We get to Happy Birthday Pop, one of my favorites of season 1, but when we voted in the poll, it didn't win. It wasn't too popular with just that round it was in. Fred celebrates his 65th birthday. Now, at no time does Fred ever look like a 65-year-old. He can pull off someone with the fake gray and stuff of someone who's in his late 50s or even maybe just turned 60, but he just has too young of a face. But in reality, he was actually 49 years old. I'm almost there now, so I look at it and I go, man, do I look as old as Fred? Could I play a 65-year-old right now if I did this? Oh, I got a little bit of gray. All gray? Maybe. I mean, I don't have any hair. You know, that might help if I grew the hair that I do have out and made it gray. But Fred does a good job of it. I think as the show goes on, they do better at making him look old. Not just the fact that he grew a few years older, but they actually, the first season, I say, he looks, especially when he's wearing the beret and Coffins for Sale, he looks way too young. But yeah, in reality, he was 49. Here Comes the Bride. And Here Comes the Bride, we actually learned Lamont's middle name. And it's Grady. It's ironic that his name is Grady DeMond Wilson in real life. Did you know that? His name in real life was Grady DeMond Wilson. So they gave him the middle name Grady. And then Grady Wilson actually got his name from DeMond. So it's so weird how the names all worked out like that and connected. The cool thing about this is that we know it's Grady. You actually can look that up and it's Grady. But did you know that in the last season when they're talking about his middle name, Lamont's saying, oh, what was my, you care so much about your middle name, Dad, why didn't you give me mine? And Fred said, we did give you a middle name. And he's like, well, what is it? He said, Lamont. He said, you named me Lamont Sanford? And he's like, no, your middle name's Lamont. We never gave you a first name. So you're kind of like, hey, they're forgetting the history of the show. Still a funny scene, but in the end, if you ask any fan, they're going to tell you it's Grady. So that is, we learned that in, which one was it? Here Comes the Bride. So like I said, each one, there's just a few facts in here. The Copper Caper, great episode. Now, there's a person in there who plays Kelly. Remember, he's got the false teeth and the gums, and they soak the gums. I really liked him. I remember even seeing at the time going, hey, I wish he was in a few more episodes. Well, in reality, I don't know the exact date. He did pass away. This was his last titled appearance in a show or history. He had done over 100 in his career, so he was a bunch of things. But this is the last actual performance that ever gets credited to his name. He did pass away in 1975, which would have been a few years later, so they could have used him unless he had complications. But the character who played Kelly in that episode, the Copper Caper, that was his last time ever. We'll get to another one that is a matter of life and breath. That is the one where they got the chain, and Lamont thinks he's got a thing, and he does the cough. It's so good. Fred does it. They both sing things. What is the fun fact in there? That a matter of life and breath, this is the first time their address is ever given. When they're talking to him, and the lady, and Fred tries to flirt with her. 9114 South Central Avenue, and they say Los Angeles, California. Now, we know it's also Watts. That's the county, but 9114 South Central Avenue. That's something to where any Sanford & Son fan hears it. It's just like hearing your old phone number back when we were kids and we knew. Isn't it amazing how we can know 20 phone numbers? Man, I have a hard time remembering 3 now. I only remember mine and my wife's. I don't even remember my work phone number. But it's crazy how we used to be able to remember all these numbers when we had to. And it was just like we strengthened our brain. Nowadays, I don't know, kids are strengthening anything. There's so much of this right in our face. But yeah, 9114 South Central, when I hear that, instantly I think of Sanford & Son, and this is the first time we ever learned of it in a matter of life and breath. We were robbed. We know that one where he breaks the porcelain and Fred's falling down and he fakes it and he acts like he was actually robbed when in reality he broke it. This is the first time we ever hear where Fred was born. He talks about where he's from, and that is St. Louis, Missouri. We know that he makes trips there, right? And then including when he was actually off the show, or the one where they fly out there to see Uncle Leotis. Quick note, get here if you're watching this Saturday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to go live. You can chat on here, say whatever you want. Now, what do I mean we are watching the show together? I'm going to have it off screen, and I'm probably going to have headphone in to listen to it, because if I play it with the audio, which I did previously on my old channel, they copyright it, they block it, you can get a strike against you. I can't have that, and then I can't replay it or nothing. So I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube, so I can't play the audio. I can't actually show it because that'll be copyrighted, but I'm going to watch it. If you are at home watching, put it on your DVD and have it set for when we say, hey, let's start it, you'll start it, or do it on your streaming service, Tubi, Amazon. I don't know, I think NBC probably has it as well. Find it. Most fans on our channel have it on DVD like myself. So pop it in and we'll start it together, and then it's just going to be me reacting, you reacting, us talking to each other. It's going to be great. I'm going to give it a try. We did it before, and in it we had some viewers. It was fun chatting. So I hope we can make it. We'll see how it goes. If it's a bomb or people don't enjoy it, we won't do it that often. I'll still do it once in a while because I absolutely love going over this. Anyways, in that episode, he does fly to St. Louis, so this is the first time we get it. So hopefully you can be here Saturday night to hang out with us and watch Super Flyer. That is one episode that I always say, if I had to show a person who'd never watched Sanford & Son an episode, that would be one of my top few choices, because you don't have to know how the character is. You don't need to know their friends. You don't have to do anything other than it's a dad and his son flying somewhere to take care of the remains of ashes and get some money, and it's just hysterical comedy the entire time. Let's get to the next one. We said we were robbed. A Pad for Lamont. Now, a Pad for Lamont is where Lamont moves out. Fred ends up having great success with the ladies while Lamont doesn't. It's the first time we're ever introduced to Lynn Hamilton, who eventually, maybe 1 or 2 episodes later, goes on to play Donna Harris. But she is not officially Donna Harris in this, but it's the first time we ever see Lynn Hamilton in Sanford & Son history. A very reoccurring character from season 1 all the way to the end, season 6. Now we'll go to Coffins for Sale. Voted right now. It's going to win. Vote if you haven't. You're watching this. Go vote. Because Monday is the deadline. That's when we decide it, and that's it. We are done with season 1 and we're starting season 2, and our favorite episode is done. I'm thinking maybe if I do season 2, or if I'm going to delay it a week and just go over the top 5. We'll break down the top 4 episodes of season 1, maybe recap it. Probably not. We'll save that for another day because we just finished it. So we'll be on to season 2. But yeah, go vote. The suitcase case. In that one. Oh, wait, I didn't get to the coffins. Boing. Coffins. What's special about that? We know that. We know my love and how much I talk about him. And it's Melvin, the debut of Melvin, Slappy White, Red Fox's real life great friend and comedian partner. He got him on there. In that episode, we've talked about on previous videos, that has to be one of the greatest entries and appearance of a character, supporting or main, in show history. As he comes on, comical, sees the coffins, goodbye, hello, goodbye, and he's out of there, and then he makes jokes later. Yeah, so that's the debut of Melvin. That's what's key about Coffins for Sale. Some of these, there's not too many fun facts. We can stretch some of them, but these are the ones that maybe I touched on and are huge. You know, that these are the ones you want to remember from season 1. Some of them are ones that, like I said, I haven't talked about. The suitcase case. This was the first episode in show history that was nothing to do with Steptoe and Son. That is a huge thing, because when I see it, I feel like it is, now they're all great, but I feel like it does separate itself. I feel like it's a different Fred. He's a little more violent, a little more out there, a little more freedom. I feel like he's not restricted to what, you know, he made it his own, but I feel like it was just Sanford and Son. It's a great glimpse of what we get to see coming ahead. Because in that one, man, in the suitcase case, he's hilarious. Remember, Lamont, he's got the suitcase, he's tied up. You speak with your eyes. The criminal in there, shut up. Shut up, you shut up. Fred's ready to kick his butt. I mean, it's got such great, it's a very hysterical episode that I've even said when I watched it, hey, this is probably one of the most forgotten great episodes that I've seen in my life, where I always forget to bring it up. But it is hysterical, and I think it does justice for the very first episode that is officially Sanford and Son and nothing to do with Steptoe and Son. That is the fun fact on the suitcase case. And another one, we even did a trivia question on this. People think, you know, if you don't pay attention, they say at the end, it was 70,000 that was in the suitcase, not 50,000. I want to say over 30% voted in our trivia that thought it was 50,000. And I knew that would happen. The correct answer was 70, and like only 40% picked that. So that shows that, hey, sometimes these trivia questions can be tricky unless you're really focused on some of these answers. Let's get to it. Return of the Barracuda. That's a great episode where he comes back. This is something, now I just covered this one, and these are 2 facts I left off that are gigantic. I saved them for the show. Punch me in the face if you don't like it, I apologize. But it's something new, so hopefully if you skip to this, 12 minutes in, you did see this part, and that is Return of the Barracuda, Beverly Hope Anderson. She plays Sheila, beautiful woman in it. Do you know that she was only, 5 years younger than Donna? Now, Donna was 11 years older than Lamont, so she was much older than Lamont. But it's funny, you look at it and you wouldn't think so. I mean, Donna, they make her look older. But yeah, in reality, she was only 5 years younger than Donna Harris on the show. And she's portrayed as someone who's like 25 years younger than Donna. And I couldn't have tell. I really did think that she was much younger, closer to Damon Wilson's age, but she wasn't. She was actually like 7 years older than him. So that is something that is outstanding. This is too. I left this off, and this one I just missed. I don't know how. This is the first time in show history that the kitchen is shown. We've seen other ones where they walk in, Fred or Lamont, they talk about it, the copper caper, he's in there, or they go in there to step out of the room and argue, and then they come back. This is the first time we actually get to see the kitchen, where there are hysterical moments throughout show history later on down the line. But this is where it all started, the kitchen scene. The decoration and how they decided to use the kitchen was decided on this one, Return of the Barracuda. One more fact, Lamont, at one point, he's reading the TV guide, and in it, on the cover is Johnny Carson. Who else would be that? You know they intentionally did that. Johnny Carson, the king of late night, who was also on NBC, which was Sanford and Son, NBC. You love when they put the plugs. It wasn't as shameless nowadays where it's like, hey, Channel 11, hey, there's Rob Lowe, and he's got a 49ers game, and he's got an NFL logo hat. One of the most generic and horrible things. Hey, he's there, and what a coincidence. Here's his new show on Channel 11. Shameless plugs. They didn't do that here. It was very hard to see, but just in case you didn't, I let you know it was Johnny Carson who was on that TV guide. And the last one, the Piano Movers, we just did it. You know, in the poll, it's not getting, I'm surprised it didn't get more votes. I guess I'm one of the few that love it as much as I do, because it's right up there with Coffins for me, as some others have said that. But in reality, the votes, you can see it's Coffins, and then what was the other one? I think We Were Robbed, or Here Comes the Bride. One of them, people love that way more than Piano Movers. So, hey, that just goes to show. One man's treasure is another man's garbage, however you want to say it. But that is it. Piano Movers. Oh, no. Piano Movers, I didn't even say the fact. It was one of the very few times that they ever started the show and into the show where you never saw the home. They never went to the home. The entire episode was at location. I talked about in the video we broke it down, other episodes. There are a handful of ones where they do not ever show the Sanford and Son house resident at any time, beginning, end. So that is it, 15 minutes. Man, I tried to get through it quick. I actually thought I would get through quicker, but I have a problem. I just talk so much, and then I can drift sometimes. I get confused, I forget. And I love to talk, and especially when it's on Sanford and Son. I hope, comment below if there's anything that you learned you did not know about these fun facts of season 1. We'll be coming up on season 2. And please go check out the newest short or just the newest video I just posted yesterday. You have to see that clip if you have not, on the royal family with Al Royal, Red Fox, playing it. He goes and he sees, I don't even want to spoil it. If you haven't seen it yet, I know a lot of our community have and they've commented on it, but if you're watching this, if you're not, go watch that. Great view, great, one of the most best scenes. I actually teared up from watching it. So thank you very much. Have a fantastic weekend. Keep it growing, man. Our subscribers are going up. I love it. Very small, very slow, but I don't care. We're growing. We're having great conversations. We're building great relationships in our community, Sanford and Son. And heck, before football starts on Sunday, hopefully you are watching Sanford and Son Superfly. So we get to go see Jackie on Saturday night at 7 Pacific Standard Time. Have a great day, guys. Be safe. Peace. Say bye, Red.